Hello, in this session we will talk about outer joins. This is Hassan Mir from 02protraining.com. We have talked about various types of joins, cross joins, which is simply multiplication of two tables. We have talked about inner joins, which is the most frequently used join that gives you meaningful information, and then we have outer joins, which itself has various different types. And in this session we will take a look at what outer join is, and this is also very commonly used, and this also gives you meaningful information, and it can give you information that inner join is unable to. So let's take a look at outer joins. I'm connected to SAP HANA Studio. In order to take a look at the outer join, let's create a scenario. Okay, so we know that we have one-to-many relationship represented in tables student and team. One student can belong to one team, and more than one student can belong to one team as well. Okay, so there is one-to-many relationship. Many students can go in one team. Okay, so let's take a look at the data we have for students. Let me close all these windows so that we start afresh. Right click on student table and choose open content. Okay, so we have 4 students, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3 of them belong to team 1 and 1 of them belong to team 2. So this is the only person in team 2. And how many teams do we have in the teams table? Not necessarily we will have 2 teams. We could have more than 2 teams as well. Not necessarily that everybody has to belong to some team. Okay, so if I right click on team and choose open content, we do have 2 teams. Okay, so how about we insert a new record here? Right click on team, generate, and insert statement. So we are inserting a new record for team 3. Let's call it team 3, and ID is 1 plus the last maximum number used in the table, so 2 plus 1 is 3. So this is the third team going in the table. Let's run this statement and let's see if it's successfully executed. No red color, so that's good. Let's say if I ask you to give me the list of the teams along with the list of students that are there in each team. This is exactly the same statement that you created in one of the previous lessons. However, in that statement you did select the first name first and then the name of the team, but here we're asking you the name of the team, so it actually ideally should be swapped. Okay, but let's go with this and we'll swap it later on. Select first name and the name of the team, so we'll give aliases to the tables. From student A is the alias. We talked about aliases in the previous session. And team, let's give a nickname or alias B, where a dot team underscore ID equal to B dot ID. So this is the join condition of the 2 tables. Okay, so if I run this statement, you should get the list of the team names and those people who are in those teams. However, ideally, as I said earlier, this should be the first column in the select list, because we need to know the name of the teams. Okay, so now this makes more sense, but there's a problem. We do have a third team and I don't see team 3 here. So why don't I see team 3 here? Because inner join only gives you those records where there are matches in the other table. We do have a team 3 record in the teams table, but we don't have any student belonging to team 3, so we don't have a match. So inner join doesn't give you those records where there is no match in the other table. That is where outer join comes into the picture. So if I go back to my SQL and let me modify it so that also those teams are visible in my results where there are no members. Okay, so first I need to convert my inner join from implicit into explicit format so that I can show you how outer join works. So explicit form would be from student table inner join the table with which we are joining the first table, and where will change to on. This is the joining condition. So if I select this and I run the statement, I should see the same result. We have talked about implicit and explicit formats in detail in the previous session. So now we can convert this into an outer join, and it's pretty simple. You change the inner keyword to outer. Although we have written an SQL for outer join, but still it is an incomplete SQL. The reason is that although we have specified that we want to outer join this table with this table, and this is the joining condition, but one thing is missing. We haven't told the system which table will have non-matching records. Here we have a scenario where team table has some records and student table might not have matching records. Okay, so a scenario could have been reversed too, and I'll talk about a reverse scenario later on. So we need to tell the system it's a left outer join or right outer join. So left and right with the context of the table names is specified in the from clause. So from student table comes first. Okay, so you need to mention here the side of the table, right or left, that will have records where there is no match found in the other table. Okay, so here the team table has some records where there is no matching records in the student table. So this is the right outer join. So if you look at the result, this is exactly what we wanted. We wanted the list of all the teams along with the names of the team members, and we also wanted to see those teams that are empty, and beside those team names we don't see any first names of the students. Question mark appears instead. That's telling you that this team is empty. So let's go back to our SQL. Okay, and here, what if I specify the first table as team and the second table as student, and the aliases are A and B. Now team is A and student is B, so I just need to change this on condition as well. I don't have to swap this, but I do need to fix the aliases. Now everything looks good except for one problem. Now this right outer join will not give you the result because you mention here right or left relative to the table names that are appearing in your from clause, and you need to mention here the side of the table, right or left, that has records where there is no matching records on the other table. So student table is the one that has no matching records, and team table is the one that will have some records for which there is no matching record in the other table. Okay, so on which side the team table is appearing? On the left side this time. So now this statement will give me the same result as before. As you can see, we get the same result. So the point is, this right or left is relative to the table names that are appearing in the from clause, and you can put any table first in the from clause. So in the next session I will talk about a scenario where we want to do a join in a reverse order. Our student table will have some records for which there will not be a match found in the team table. So that will clarify you the concept of join further.